it doesn't matter, or Medicare. The nature of the healthcare, or the nature of, or the fundamentals of the healthcare industry are gonna be exactly the same, regardless of where you work, for who you work. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that you need to get the fundamentals of all these things as crystal clear as possible. Try to spend a lot of time with these EDI claims and all. Okay. So in continuation of our topic from last week, last week we did discuss few things. Who's the submitter of this EDI claim? Who's the receiver of this EDI claim? Who's the patient? Who's the subscriber? How many different kinds of treatments were given to this patient based on this lines of service? LX1, LX2. What was the cost of each service? When was this service given? So all those things. Now, what we'll be discussing today is just one topic left, which I wanted to clarify on. I think just give me a second here, guys. Okay. So what I want to discuss today is just the claim part. Okay. We already know how to track who is sending this claim. We already know how to track who is supposed to receive this claim. We already know for whom this medical claim is being sent. We already know who is the primary subscriber on this claim being sent. We already know what kind of different treatments this person received. What's the cost of each treatment? And so on. Now, what I want to tell you is, let's go back to our link. I shared this link with all of you guys through my meeting invite. Now, when you want to find out what exactly is the claim information, what is the different areas of this claim which will be used by the claim processing engine to process this claim, you click on this link, loop 2300. Do you need to know what 2300 means? No. Why? What's the relevance of this number? You don't care. You don't have to. When you open this claim information, you look at this AMT star F5. That's the first segment of this particular loop. So let's do this. Let's highlight this. Patient amount paid. So AMT star F5. Okay. AMT star F5. This is AMT segment. AMT 01, AMT 02. AMT 02 is patient amount paid. This is the amount which patient paid at the time of getting his treatment. Why is he paying $100? This is all he paid though. Is it possible that this patient owes more money? Yes, possible. But at the time of the billing, he was required to pay only $100. It is possible that his total bill could be more than 100. Then why is he paying only 100? It is possible that he already met his deductible. He is in co-payment phase. He went to the emergency room, which has a standard copay of $100, and he's just paying $100 and he's done. So he's paying his $100. Now, let's open the claim information. CLM, CLM01, CLM02, CLM03. Okay, so this is CLM. This is CLM01. Okay, what is CLM01? Claim submitter's identifier. So whoever is submitting this claim, that's his ID. the billing specialist or the hospital of a billing, the billing specialist of a hospital or a billing specialist of an doctor's clinic, or whoever is sending this medical claim on the behalf of the hospital or a doctor or whoever. It can be the same person. It can be the actual hospital itself. That is the identification number. CLM02, total claim charges. This is CLM01, this is CLM02. So $7,545.67 is the total bill for this particular patient. This is the money he owes. This is the money being spent on this person's medical care for this particular visit. Then why is he paying only 100? Because at the time of billing, hospital calculated that this person, even though the total medical bill for this person is $7,500, he is already out of his deductible phase. He has spent enough money for this particular year, which has contributed towards his deductible. The rest of the money has to be paid by the insurance company. This person or this patient will pay only one flat fee, one flat fee, and that's it. He's done. He just pays a flat fee of $100, and everything else will be paid by the insurance company. So when they are being sent, when they send this claim, an insurance company receives this claim, they look at this amount, $75.45. This is the total money spent. And then they look at this, $100. They take $100 out of this, $75.45. So $74.45. That is the money insurance company will pay to the hospital. Another thing the system will check is that whether this 75.45.67 is a total of these numbers or not. 2892.66 and 1334 and 24, and any other treatments which this person received at the hospital. All these amounts for each service, each medical treatment. This is like like going to a restaurant. Every medical treatment or every item you ordered has a separate price attached. This is one amount. This is another amount. When you would add all these amounts, not just for these two items, or for all the LX, all the service lines, it should add up to this amount. I mean, for the sake of simplicity and sake of our conversation, I did remove other service lines, LX3, LX4, and so on. But these amounts should add up to this. And out of this, if 100 is being paid by the patient already, everything else will be paid by the insurance company. The insurance company system, claim processing system, is designed in such a way that it looks at all these numbers. It does all the calculation. Based on that, a response is generated. CLM05 is healthcare service location information. I don't know what that is. All this information, assignment of benefits, indicator, all this information you may not need. So that's okay. In CLM, this ID and this amount spent is something you need to know. Now there's another segment, DTP star 304, date last seen. We don't have it here. It must be optional then. DTP star 431, date onset of current illness symptom. Even that's optional. DTP star 435, admission. Even that's optional, or it's not here. Maybe this person was never admitted. He just got to a hospital, got the treatment in the emergency room or whatever, and he just left. There's no admission. DTP star 445, date initial treatment. So we have DTP star 45 here. Okay. What does it mean? Initial treatment date. DTP 02. I'm sorry, I don't know why this is here. So DTP 45402. This is 01 and this is 02. This is 2016 9/11. So September 11, 2016 was the date when this initial treatment was given. All these REF, 9G, all this information is not there. That means it's optional. That's it. Now, another thing, just last thing for this topic, and then I'll move on to our main topic for today. And even though that's a short one, but I just want you to understand one thing. The other day, if you remember, we discussed all these codes, rather this code. You know what this was? This code highlighted in yellow, HC colon this. This was the actual ICD code, this KL7645. This was the ICD code for the treatment which was given to this patient. J2941 was the actual ICD code of the treatment given to this patient. If you remember, we discussed that this was a treatment and there were 84 units of this particular treatment given to the patient and the total cost was $1,334. Exactly like this, KL7645 was the actual treatment, 124 units of that treatment, which can be anesthesia or anything given to this patient, and the total cost was this. This is the medical, not the medical code, but sorry, this is the actual ICD code for the treatment given to the patient. These two. Now what you need to find out is the actual ICD code for the diagnosis, the actual medical problem. What is the medical problem here? Because in every claim, what we submit is the actual medical problem, and for that medical problem, what treatments are being given for this medical problem. If you look at this, healthcare diagnosis code, HI. This is HI, right? Within HI, this is HI01, HI02, HI03, HI01, 02, 03, up to 12. This claim allows, this one particular claim allows sending up to 12 diagnosis codes for this particular patient per claim. So this is HI01. What is BHA1D8? I don't know. It's some ICD code for the actual medical problem. This could mean malaria, or this could mean hepatitis, or this could mean cancer. It could mean any of these ICD codes. Do you need to know what this ICD code stands for? No. Then why are we doing this? What's the purpose of looking at all these sections? I'll explain in a minute. It will all make sense that why are we looking at each and every area of this claim. If you are working for an insurance company, medical claims like this will keep on coming every day. Thousands, tens of thousands, or sometimes millions. Millions of claims will come in every day. Do you have to read at all the claims? No. Do you have to look at all the claims? No. If anything goes wrong with the claim, then you have to look at that particular claim. You should be able to read that particular claim. You should be able to identify that this person is getting medical treatments for these three problems. He's suffering from these three problems. What are these problems? You have to track it down from here, the diagnosis code, and then go to the ICD code table. Search for what it means. Search for what this means. Search for what this means, and so on. These are the treatments. These are the treatments. What does this mean? J2941. It could be anesthesia, it could be chemotherapy, it could be anything. You don't know, I don't know. How do you find out then? You have to refer to the ICD code list. Now, this is how you read an EDI claim. This is how you analyze a claim. Now, what's the point, or why are we doing this? Let's move on to that topic. My intention was for you guys to understand how an EDI claim looks like. If an EDI claim is given to you, you should be able to read it. You should be able to visit different areas of this of the claim, and if anything is wrong, you should be able to see what's wrong with the claim or why this claim is getting denied. This is one of the many situations where you as a business analyst or a healthcare business analyst will be involved in. So I will go through some of those scenarios, real-time scenarios, which you will which will come through you as a BA when you're working for a healthcare company. So let's go through this particular flowchart first, and then I'll paint some of the real life scenarios. Okay. Now, here's a provider. Provider means medical provider, somebody who pays the bill. Oh, sorry, somebody who provides medical treatment, somebody who gives the medical treatment or performs all the medical tests. It could be a hospital, it could be a clinic, it could be a testing lab, it could be any of them. So provider sends the claim, submits a claim through EDI or paper or web portal. These days, it is very rare that somebody will send a paper claim. Very, very rare. Everything is electronic. So most likely you will be receiving a claim through in an EDI file. Now why does it say web portal? Well, you have to understand one thing. You know, big hospitals have big IT infrastructure. They have software to create all these EDI claims from them, and all those claims are sent to the insurance company automatically. But for small clinics, medical clinics or small doctors, one small clinic where there's only one doctor, he doesn't have that kind of IT infrastructure. In that case, he outsources submission and receiving of these claims to a third party. That third party is called a clearing house. There are clearing houses in America. What they do is they create all these EDI claims on the behalf of these doctors. So these doctors in their computer, they just input that this person came in and this is his name, first name, last name, insurance ID number, this is the medical treatment he received, and so on. They give all that information to a third party, which is a clearing house. Clearing house will take that information, generate it into an EDI file, and upload that EDI file on a web portal of the insurance company. Insurance company system will receive all the claims for that doctor and will start processing. So these boxes highlighted in olive green are on the provider side. Everything else is on the payer side, like an insurance company. So once a claim comes in, the first step is validate recipient data. The first step is to confirm whether we, the insurance company, try to imagine, guys, try to imagine yourself that you are working for an insurance company, a health insurance company, like Blue Cross Blue Shield. This Blue Cross Blue Shield will be performing all these activities in blue. When I say Blue Cross Blue Shield, I don't mean people will be actually sitting on their desk and performing all these tasks. No, the system will be performing all these tasks. So the first step they'll be doing is they'll validate the recipient data. What does that mean? The first step is to validate, should we be receiving this data or not? Is this data meant for us? You cannot send any medical claim to any insurance company. If we are Blue Cross Blue Shield and somebody has a health insurance with United Health Group and they send their claim to Blue Cross Blue Shield, are we supposed to pay that bill? No. So we will reject that claim outright. The system will look at this, code. This code for PPO Blue Shield of California, whether this code is correct or not. If this code is our code, or sorry, this code 54771 Blue Cross Blue Shield of California, if this is us, system will read this data. If this matches 54771, only then this claim will be processed. Else the claim will not be processed. It will be rejected outright. That you sent this medical claim to the wrong payer. So recipient data is verified. If this is not correct, it will be rejected. If this is correct, then it moves on to the next step. Validate provider data. We check, or the system checks, where is this data coming from. What hospital, what medical provider is sending this data? If that doctor is not even our network, then there is no point in even receiving that data. Why is he sending us data? This doctor or this hospital is not in our network. We don't do business with this doctor or hospital. If it's an invalid number, the system will take that number. This is the ID of St. Mary's Hospital. If this number exists in the database, fine. If this number does not exist in the database, the system will reject the claim outright. If this number exists, so far we have verified that this claim is meant for us. This claim is being sent to the right company, which is Blue Cross Blue Shield. Fine. This claim is being sent by the right person. St. Mercy's Hospital. Fine. Okay, they are in our network. Okay, fine. Next step is validate reference data. Now the system will perform a check. Perform a check. You know what? What will they check? Whether it's an actual EDI file or not. Well, it is an EDI file because we have already looked at two numbers. But is it an actual EDI 837? Is the file complete? Does this file contain all the mandatory or all the required fields or not? If any one particular field is missing, then what's the point of processing the claim? Why are we even looking at this claim if the most mandatory information is incomplete? If the system finds out that this whole information is missing, how will we make the judgment or make the determination how much money is being billed for this particular claim and how much money do we have to pay for this claim? So these mandatory fields have to be there. Structurally, it has to be a complete file. Only and only then the system will pay the medical bill. So recipient data is verified, provider data is verified, reference data is verified. We have validated that this is a perfect file. Next step is validate benefit provider administration rules. What does that mean? Benefit provider administration, it's just an internal term. What essentially we do is, what the system does is, now the system looks at, okay, this is coming from the right person, this is coming to the right person, this is a complete EDI file. Now let's check other areas of the file. System will perform other benefit analysis, whether this person, Smith Karen, is an active member for this particular medical plan or not. Is this person eligible for medical plan or not? Whether this person has medical coverage with us or not. Look, it is possible that Smith Karen has medical coverage. But what if for the last 3 months she is not being paying her premium? The system will deactivate her. It will deactivate her policy. She is no longer eligible for any medical coverage. But she still exists in our system. So not only this person has to exist in our system, she has to be an active person with an active coverage. Until and unless that is true, the system will not pay any medical bill. So system will verify whether this person is eligible for medical coverage or not. There are other areas in this file which we didn't even discuss. Provider name, NMN star 82 provider name, the actual hospital and all those things. It should be somewhere here, NMN star 42. Never mind, you can find it out. It's easy. You know NM1 and all these segments now. Whether this doctor, you know, this Karen Smith person, this Karen Smith. First of all, we need to make sure that she has an active coverage. Okay, she does. Good. What if she has active coverage, but she went to a doctor or a hospital which is out of her network because she has a very cheap plan? The St. Mercy's Hospital may be in Blue Cross Blue Shield's network, but it's only allowed for rich people or only allowed for expensive plans. But this Karen Smith is on a very cheap plan. She is not allowed to go to this hospital. Why did she go to this hospital? If she goes to this hospital, health insurance is not going to pay for it. Like my plan. I have a cheap plan, guys. I cannot go to Stanford Hospital for my treatment. Insurance company is not going to pay for it. Because the moment I send my bill, even though I have active coverage, even though it's an EDI file, it's coming from the right provider, it's going to the right payer, everything is fine. But this particular provider is not allowed for my plan. So all those rules, all those things are checked before the claim is further processed. Whether this person is allowed for this coverage or not, whether this person is allowed for this particular treatment or not, whether this person is allowed for this medication or not, all these things will be checked. All these. Now, there are many medications or many medical treatments, okay, which require special authorization by the doctor. Okay, there's very specific treatments and all. There are many lifestyle drugs or medical prescription drugs, which may or may not be covered by the medical plan, but if they are covered by the medical plan, they require special authorization by your doctor. For example, there are many kind of medicines. There is a cheaper brand and there is a very more expensive brand. If I go to a doctor and doctor thinks, even though they are pretty much the same medicine, but this cheaper medicine or the cheaper version or the generic version is not recommended because the side effects of the cheaper version can hurt me really bad. So doctor will recommend the more expensive version of that medicine because the side effects will be easy on me. Let's say I'm a really old person and I cannot sustain all those kind of side effects anymore. So doctor will prescribe me a much more expensive medication. But if that is the case, he's making an exception. There will be a prior authorization. He'll have to authorize that particular prescription drug for me. And that medical claim will come with a PA, prior authorization. Because when the system looks at that particular medicine or that treatment, system will say this was not supposed to be covered for this patient. But if it comes with a PA number, then it's a different story. So the system will check whether prior authorization is required or not. If it's required, it validates the PA number. If no, if it's not required, then it moves on to the next step. So some medical treatments, some medical prescriptions require special authorization from the doctor. And doctor will generate a PA number or an authorization number stating that Dhruvendra is my patient, he came to my clinic and I have made a determination that this patient should be given this and only this particular drug or this and only this particular treatment, even though it may not be covered by his plan or it may not be, I mean, if it's not covered then it won't be covered of course, but even though it's a much more expensive drug, but this has to be given. If doctor says so, insurance company cannot contest that. So prior authorization determination is also analyzed by the system. These are the series of steps which a claim has to go through. Now, if the prior authorization is there, that's fine. Next step is perform editing. You have to understand one thing, guys. We have discussed this step, this step, this step, this step, and this step. Anytime it is false or it's negative, it goes back to the provider. I didn't just highlight each and every arrow coming from each and every box, but it is it's empirical that anytime the claim fails to cross one step or fails to process one step, it will go back to the provider with an error. So first step, as I said, validation of recipient data, validation of provider data, validation of the actual EDI data, validation of different benefit rules, like whether this person is allowed for coverage or not, whether this person is active or not, whether this person is allowed to go to this doctor or not, allowed to go to this get this medical treatment or not. Anytime this is false, it will go back as a denied error. But anyways, next step is perform editing. Edits. Now try to understand one thing, guys. This is very important. You know, it is possible, just try to imagine. I go to a doctor. I go to a doctor which is in my network. Simple doctor, not very expensive. I go to a doctor. I have active coverage, active medical coverage. I show my doctor my insurance ID card. I get the treatment. I come back, insurance, my doctor or my hospital sends the bill to the insurance company. Insurance company verifies everything. Everything is fine. See, that's the best. Everything is fine. But, try to imagine this scenario. There are some treatments or some medications which are gender specific. Do you all agree? You guys are pretty quiet. What do you think? Do you all agree? For example, some treatments are given only to pregnant women. Some treatments are given only to people who are older than 18. Some treatments are given only to old people. Some treatments are given only to children. And same thing is for medications. If there is a medication or a treatment given to a pregnant woman and that comes in a claim for a male, system will check what the hell is going on. why is this person who is a male getting a treatment which is meant only for pregnant women? That means either it's an error, this claim was sent by error, or it's a fraud case. Doctor is trying to bill the insurance company for a faulty claim or a fraudulent claim. Do you all agree? Does it make sense, guys? What do you think? You guys are pretty quiet. Look, you have to understand one thing. Just because I have valid insurance, just because I can go to this particular doctor, just because everything is active coverage and all, everything is fine, I cannot just go to a doctor being a male and get a treatment which is given only to pregnant women. If that claim goes to the system and system just approves it, that's not going to happen. That is just not going to happen. So there are different edits coded in the system. This is a gender-based edit. For these treatments, this particular gender is allowed. Or these treatments are given only to this gender. These treatments are given only to this particular age. So based on the date of birth of the person or the patient coming through the claim, the system determines that whether this person should be getting this treatment or not. Because some treatments are given only to children. Some treatments are given only to adults. Some treatments are given only to old people. So these are age-based edits or gender-based edits coded in the system. Every claim has to go through these edits. If it fails any of these edits, the claim will be denied. The claim will be denied. Being a male or being an adult, you are getting this treatment which was never meant for you. That claim will definitely be denied. Does it make sense, guys? These are the different edits already coded in the system. Now comes the pricing part. System will look at these different treatments. This was the first treatment given, second treatment given to this patient. Hospital has billed this much amount. The system will take this ICD code, look at this amount and compare it with this ICD code and whatever is amount attached to that ICD code. If it's more or less the same, then it's fine. But according to the system, if this ICD code has a price attached of $200 and the hospital is trying to bill $1,300, this is a red flag. That means something is wrong. Every plan has a negotiated rate for every treatment in advance, and all those rates are already listed in the system. Private insurance companies end up paying a little bit more for all the treatments. All these Medicare and Medicaid pay a little bit less. All the people who are in the military and get the treatment, their medical treatment is the cheapest. Their rates are the lowest. So this ICD code for the treatment can have different pricing based on who the actual patient is. And these are the different prices listed in the system database already. System will grab this ICD code, looks up into the system internally, what are the different prices depending on the scenario, and it will look at this price. If it's the same, fine. If it's not the same, system will deny the coverage or will deny the claim. So after editing, the pricing check is done by the system. Now comes the auditing part. Auditing is nothing much but just a final check of everything, just to make sure, make a final determination that whether this person went to the right doctor, right hospital, right treatment, right price, everything is correct, everything is good. It's like a overall audit of the claim. It's done. And then based on all these parameters, based on the results of all these steps, the final claim processing is done and the decision comes out. If system thinks that most of these steps were true, were passed successfully, except for this pricing part, price was little off base. Instead of $1,300, it should have been $1,200. It will be just suspended and sent back to the provider. That, hey, you know what? This patient has real coverage. We get it. You sent to the right payer. It's coming from the right provider. He was eligible for this doctor, eligible for this treatment. Everything is fine, but the pricing you sent us is wrong. So please correct that pricing and send it again. That's suspended. If the claim is completely wrong, it's coming for a patient who doesn't even exist. If it's coming for a patient who is not eligible for this doctor, or it's coming for a patient who is not, who's a male but getting a treatment for a female, but getting a female treatment, in that case, claim will be denied. Every claim, whatever the status is, of course, whatever the status is, it will be saved in the database. Your system, whatever system you're working on, Blue Cross Blue Shield or whatever system, every claim which comes in through the door, it will be saved. The status will be saved. Even if the claim comes in through 100 times and keeps getting denied, all those 100 instances will be saved. So suspended, denied or paid, everything will be saved to the database. But of course, if it's getting paid, the system will tell you that, look, you sent us a total bill of $7,500 and the patient paid 100. We will pay you 74.45.67. We have agreed, and this money will be paid to you or will be wired to you on this particular date. Or in another case, system will make the determination that, you know what, patient has not met his deductible. He still needs to pay another $300 to meet his deductible limit. So instead of paying 100, he should have paid 300. So we'll be paying you 72.45 and the remaining amount will be coming from the patient. And the patient will receive a letter that you owe $200 more to the insurance company or to the hospital. All the determination is done by the system at this step, final pricing. And of course, that the status of the claim is always saved in the database, as I said. Does it make sense, guys? What do you think? Does this life cycle make sense to you? First step is to check whether this claim is coming for the right insurance company or not, whether you are sending it to the right insurance. If it's yes, then it checks whether it is coming from the right provider or not. What about if it's a hospital in Hawaii? An insurance company is in New York. They said, we don't have any doctor or hospitals under our plan in Hawaii. Then the overall EDI structure is checked. Then different benefit rules are checked, whether this person is eligible or not, whether this person is eligible for this doctor or not, whether it's eligible for this treatment or not. And the next step is to check whether a prior authorization is required or not. Next step is to check the different edits. It goes through different edits, age-based edits and gender-based edits and all those edits, network-based edits. And then system compares the pricing. If its pricing and everything is fine, it performs the final audit and makes a final decision. Either suspended, denied, or it will be finally paid. Make sense, guys? What do you think? I know it's Monday. You don't feel like studying too much, but what do you think so far? Can you correlate? Yes, go ahead.
What happens here at prior authorization? You said that this part is important, and you said some even if doctor prescribes some medication, the insurance the insurance company cannot reject it or something. You said
Yeah, so
at this stage.
yeah, so what really happens is that, let's say, many medicines have different brands. Okay, sometimes it's cheaper brand and then expensive brand, and then there is a very expensive brand. And if doctor insists, or doctor thinks that you should be given the most expensive brand for some medical reason, okay, for some medical reason, doctor makes a determination that you should be given this medical brand, the most expensive medical brand, even though it's the same medicine, but it has some advantages or whatever. In that particular case, he'll have to send a special request. Doctor's office will create a prior authorization number and will send it along with the claim, like this. Where is that? Um, claim. Yeah, prior authorization referral number. Okay. So a prior authorization or a special authorization number will be sent with the claim, meaning that doctor understands that there are different variations or different brands of this medicine available, and there are cheaper brands available in the market, but doctor insists on giving this expensive brand or this expensive treatment due to some medical reasons, and doctor has authorized the patient to receive this medicine. In that case, insurance company will not say anything, that okay, maybe for some medical reason doctor has authorized, so system will not deny the claim. Usually system
Okay.
denies a claim saying that this plan covers only cheaper drugs and not the expensive drugs. Make sense?
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yep.
So these are the different checks which have to go through the system. Now the question is, let me discuss a couple of scenarios and what could actually happen when you are working as a BA. Okay, now this is not related to any project implementation. This is maintenance of business. When you are working for a healthcare company, they might ask you to spend 70 or 80% of your time in implementing projects, making changes in the system and whatever. Rest 20-30% of the time, you will be maintaining their current system. Maintaining their current system means every day there will be a report which will be sent to you saying that, hey, you know what, hey the BA, there are there were 20,000 claims processed last night. Okay, and out of those 20,000 claims, 10 claims got denied. Can you please check what happened? When a situation like that is presented to you, they will be sending, the systems team will be sending the actual EDI file. Actual EDI file in this particular tool. I hope you remember, we discussed the other day. It will be sent to you in a text file like this. They will send you the EDI file and say, you know what, this claim is getting denied. The first question you need to ask is, why is it getting denied? Systems team will say, I don't know. I'm a developer. How do I know? You are the BA. You make the judgment. You do the analysis. Okay. What does the error say? Error says member not active. Member not active. So what you need to do is, you need to go back and forth between the actual EDI claim and this claim. So let's do this. What will you do is, you will see, okay, first of all, you will see the patient name. Okay, patient name. Patient name, this is NM1 star QC in NM109. So NMN star QC, let's find this one. This is the patient, Cole Smith. Okay, NM109. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this is 9. This is the ID card. This is the ID number of this patient. Then you'll go to a system, I'm sorry, different screen in the system and check whether this patient or actually exists in a system or not. What if this person showed up with a fake ID card, fake insurance ID card at the hospital? So you have to check within the healthcare, within the insurance company system whether this person exists or not. He does. This ID number exists. How will you check? Either you'll write a SQL query or you'll go to one of the screens. What screen? Member screen. How does it look like? When you get there, you'll learn. It's a big system like mainframe, Epic, and all these big systems. Do I have access to it? Nobody can access unless you're working for a company. So they'll tell you what screen is where. You go to member screen, you put the ID number, and you see whether this patient is active or not. It is active. Not active, but at least this person exists. So it's not a fake ID. Okay, that's good. So why is member not active? This person exists in the database. Let's do another thing. This was the date of the claim when the treatment was given. Let's look at the claim line. Where is it? Claim information. TTP 545 or 45402. 2016 9/11. 2016 9/11 was the date when this person was given the treatment. Okay. When you look at the member screen, this Cole Smith screen, it will tell you when this member started his medical plan and when was it ended. If it's still active, it won't have a date. If it's not active, it will have an end date. If that person has a coverage end date of 20th of Feb 2016 or 31st of March 2016, and this person went to the hospital to get the treatment on 11th of September 2016, that means this person, even though he had active coverage at one point in his life, but he went to a hospital and by that time his coverage was not active. Why? Maybe because he was not paying his monthly premium. Maybe he did not renew his plan. Maybe he is not active. Something is wrong, but he is not an active member in the system anymore. At the time he got the treatment, which is 11th of September, this person did not have active coverage in the plan. It's like I buy auto insurance for my car, get my car insured, and I get the insurance card for 1 year. But after 3 months, I stop paying my bills or paying my premium. What happens then? They will suspend my coverage. If I get into an accident after 3 months, I send the bill, they will deny it. They'll say you were active only for the first 3 months and you got into an accident after your coverage suspended because you never paid your premium. We took you off our list. Even though your name exists somewhere in our system, you are not active anymore. At the time of accident, you were not active. So just like that in health insurance, when you stop paying your medical premium, they will take you off. Even though you have a card in your hand, you go to the hospital, get the treatment, everything is done. When they send the bill, insurance company system will verify and say, hey, you know what? The day you got coverage, you were not active on that day. So sorry, we will not pay your medical bills. Does it make sense, guys? So you look at this date and you look at the member screen. Member screen will have an end date. If this date, treatment date, is outside that end date, that means this person was not active on the day of getting the treatment. Does that make sense or not? What do you think?
Hi, Dhruv.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. So, Dhruv, you were mentioning that the claims and all, they're processed through this system. You mentioned some Epic system or something. Can you just give a brief about it?
Well, it's a central. I mean, it's the heart of the insurance company. It's a heart system of the insurance company. Every medical claim comes in and gets processed in that system. All the Medicaids and all the big insurance companies use IBM mainframe. So mainframe is a big system, big server. Will you be working in that system? No. But all the claims come into that system to get processed. It's the engine. Like car has an engine, so a health insurance company has a system, which is the engine of that company. IBM mainframe is one of them. Epic is one of them. Well, Epic is more of on the hospital side, but on the health insurance side, IBM mainframe is definitely one of them. And then there is another system by General Electric, and then there is another system, Facets is definitely one of them. So all these are big systems, which are the engine, electronic engine of that insurance company. All these claims are processed by that engine. All these rules, all these processing, all these rules are somehow coded in that system in IBM mainframe with some programming language. When the claim comes in, it has to flow through that program. Anytime, at any step, it fails, the claim gets denied. But if it goes through 100% successfully, the system responds back with a response that, okay, we'll pay you this much money on this particular date. Make sense?
Can you write down those systems name please in the text box?
Sure. So for the most important one is IBM mainframe. Okay. Hold on. And the next one is Facets. I think these are two most important. The one with General Electric, I don't think you need to know. So Facets and mainframe, these are the most common. Back in the day, or rather not back in the day, even now, IBM mainframe I think is the most common. All the Blue Cross Blue Shields, they use Facets. I'll give you some more documents related to Facets and all that, so that you know how different areas of Facets and all. Make sense?
Yeah, so Dhruv, when you said that we would be, from the EDI file, we would retrieve the information about the patient ID, or I don't know what is that term. Yeah, the patient ID or the insurance ID.
Yep.
So we'll be validating it against the system information. So we will be putting in one of the screens in the system. We will be given access to check the details of that particular person, right?
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
Okay. So even we can also go back end and also see through the tables, Dhruv. Am I right?
Well, there are different ways to approach this. Either you go to a screen called member screen, then there'll be a provider screen, then there will be a pharmaceutical screen, then there will be a claim screen. These are different screens in the system which you will have access to. So either you go to one of the screens, put the member ID number and see the member details. You go to the claim ID, claim screen, put the claim ID and see the claim details. You see all the claims, suspended, denied or paid, they will be saved to the database like this, saved to the database. So you can see the whole everything going on with that claim in the claim screen. So either you go to the screen or you write a SQL query and you can access all the details through a SQL query in the database. So there are two different ways to approach this. Make sense? People who are good with SQL, they prefer the SQL way because they think, you know what, I'm going to write 4 lines of SQL code and I can see everything. Why go to different screens? It's your choice. It's your comfort level. Make sense?
Yes, Dhruv, it makes sense. So this is one of the scenarios where we as a business analyst would be handling the EDI file. Is there any other scenarios where we would be doing some kind of a support?
Yeah, of course. What if the claim gets denied or gets suspended due to incorrect pricing? Incorrect pricing. Okay, then what do you do then? You open the claim. Open the claim. It says incorrect pricing for this particular ICD code. It will just say the ICD code. You look at the claim. Okay, where are the service lines? These are two the service lines. Okay, where is the ICD code for each treatment? This is the first code. This is the second code. You take this code, go to your procedure code screen. You take this code, put that code in the screen, and see the price for that code. If it's $1,000, and here it is, they are billing you for $1,300, then it makes sense. When the decided price for this treatment is $1,000, why is the hospital sending $1,300? There's something wrong with their billing system, or there's something wrong with somebody who is sending the bill. Something is wrong. I don't know. That means you provide a response that this particular code was sent with the wrong price, and the correct price should be 1,000, not 1,300. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. Dhruv, a claim will be denied. The reason might be a number of reasons, which might be identified depending on the type of error we are getting. So if the error is regarding the claim price, or it is regarding the patient information or various other errors. So will there be any kind of a master data present which will map all these errors and the resolution steps, so that every time not much time has to be spent in order to go and research it over and over again, because these errors might be very common. So is there any master data, or is there any outline given to the business analyst, these are the common types of errors and this is how you are supposed to handle it?
Well, that depends on your client. Many clients have a lot of documentation available, and they'll say, we usually receive a lot of claims for this particular reason, and this is how you approach it. So for the common scenarios, there might be some things either documented, or they might, some of your peer BAs or the other BAs might tell you or transfer this knowledge to you that, hey, if this is the kind of error you come across, this is what you do. This is the kind of error you come across, this is what you do. And even if it's not communicated to you, these things are, developed with experience. So you as a BA, at one point in your life, you will be able to develop this process or develop this troubleshooting process with experience. But the common scenarios will definitely be communicated to you. There are many scenarios which are complicated, case by case basis. Even you don't know what's going on, they don't know what's going on. You as a team do research that what the heck is going on. But for the common scenarios, yes, expect some at least knowledge transfer. If not hard-coded documentation, at least expect a knowledge transfer or a soft knowledge transfer from other BAs or other lead BAs or some people in your team. Expect something like that. Okay. But yeah, as I said, some scenarios are just complicated. Nobody knows what the answer is. You just do research and research and research. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, Dhruv, I got that. And Dhruv, one more question I had was, so this is mainly a production support kind of a role. So will this request be like a doc request, right? On the fly we get requests like this after every release, or will this be like day in day out job for us as a business analyst?
Well, here's the thing.